Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen,
Radiant
boys and girls. Here we are, game number 2 of this best of 2 series. No matter what happens today for this series, at least today, this will be it. Just a matter of will it actually be over, or will we be going to tomorrow to Super Meat. Final tribe right now up 1-0 over Team Kinguin. Once again, I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Fluff and Stuff. And definitely is worth clarifying real quickly before we get into the draft, just to make it very clear. So I was actually misinformed, apparently. It's not a best of 1 tomorrow if this ends up being a tie. It actually is a best of 3. So it does make a little more sense, you know, especially with how much is on the line. It will still be tomorrow, but it is going to be a best of 3 instead. If Kinguin wins this game. Obviously, if the final tribe wins, it is them. Alright, so now that that's taken care of, the draft once again flying through. Already have a bit of a different draft, and we got the Sand King first pick into a Leshrac Elder Titan, and then the Rubik coming at it.
Team ban.
It just seems like they want to shut down Pablo as much as possible. Like Elder Titan's just that next hero in line, and he doesn't get that Pango, Willow, Naga, whatever it is. But we do see the Leshrac again. Last time we did see it paired up with the Sand King, however, so I'm kind of wondering if it's either going to be a core or if it is a support. Leshrac Elder Titan, not necessarily the best support duo. Not really a reliable way to disable or start fight so that the splitters comes naturally. So I would expect this Leshrac to... On the other side, we see Sand King Rubik. Sand King right there, just all around amazing hero. Rubik works really well against Leshrac. Tons of good spells to steal. I also like Rubik a lot with Sand King, just really natural support duo in general. And even if that Sand King is not a support, being in the offlane will be quite effective as well. So I like them keeping it open.
Final tribe. Always excited to see what Nox ends up getting to play here. He's been playing a lot of Lifestealer recently. Pro Warlord's another one. They have been playing a fair amount. Speaking of that, though, on the other side, Kinguin, they've been playing a lot of that Vengeful Spirit, but of course...
10 seconds remaining.
I'm pretty sure that was like the first.
5 seconds remaining.
Wisely banning that hero. Just it can be a 5, it can be a 1 position. You never know, and it crushed the other 2 games they played. So, but I like this Lina ban out from Kinguin. Obviously, Final Tribe is not afraid to pick it up early, and it just plays so well into a lot of Nisha's heroes, the Death Prophets, and especially that's just something that he likes to pick. So by banning out the Lina, they're able to pick up some of his more comfort heroes. It's also okay. So Beastmaster pick pretty much confirms that Leshrac's either mid. Oftentimes, well, some teams play it as an offlaner, but I think it would generally be those order in the mid lane. We see an A ban, so yeah, or A pick. So yeah, the Sand King in the offlane it was fairly obvious, I think, because usually don't want to reveal too much like that, and keeping it open worked out well for you. But with this AA, there's definitely this aggro tri-lane potential, which is something that Kinguin was not afraid to bust out pretty much every game, actually. Well, the past 3 games I've watched him aggro tri-lane every single time. AA dominates that. If that is in fact a Leshrac support, the Elder Titan will be it's very hard for him to run in, so the A kind of secures that lane if they run aggro.
4th pick for the final tribe. Now is it going to be the perhaps Eras? They have been running a lot of that Lina, but Kinguin ban the hero. I feel like Queen of Pain's kind of his other go-to.
True. But it's just... Leshrac Elder Titan just seems... To me, it seems really awkward as a sport. We do pick up the gyro, so we still a little ambiguous. By this point, though, they'll just wait to see what Kinguin actually picks up before they make on it. I think it's still up in the air. Gyrocopter just all around stable, and remaining. Versus Sand King in general on the lane, it's pretty nice. Like normally, if you just throw down a rocket on top of Sand King, it kind of limits his evasiveness and deals with the sandstorm, deals with him burrow striking away, so and allows you to finish him. I do like that pick for the laning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be decent now for Kinguin's side.
They can
team back.
Morphling again. Okay.
That's that's confidence right there. That's you know what, you messed up. I don't even say maybe necessarily messed up, but it was a very unfavorable match of the first game apparently, and
yeah,
he didn't play the best. I'll put it that way. So the fact that they're going back to it definitely is telling that they think it still can work.
This is a much better Morphling game, and I'll tell you what I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna leave it open so that they can potentially put dual lane mid more AA. With the AA especially, putting the chilling touch and waveforming in, you close the gap. There's a lot of damage coming through. It's a very, very strong lane. The other thing is that Morphling in this game, compared to last game, he has some very clear targets that he can just blow up. And he also currently doesn't have a lane matchup that's counterintuitive or gonna destroy him. So, like a Gyrocopter usually doesn't have too much HP. And same thing goes for Leshrac, Elder Titan. Very easy targets for a Morphling to bring down. Mm-hmm. Really good spells to steal as well. You can steal the flak like we mentioned last game. The freaking flak cannon that auto attacks on Morphling, who's just even just with the E-Blade itself, the DPS is insane. So I think it's a lot different in this scenario, and it should have a lot better of a game.
I would love to see, like, you know, there's well to see the final tribe go like IO pick, your final pick, the IO Gyrocopter synergy, and you can do some crazy stuff later on in the game as well, but that's probably not gonna happen.
It's pretty good pick, but against AA it's really questionable just because if it flips either you or your target, it's kind of like it really counters the hero. It feels bad, but I do think the way that Wisp can build now, some people they don't even go bottle, they don't even go like anything like that. They just go for the Helmet Dominator or pipe. Can deal quite well with AA because usually the blast doesn't get too many levels. Maybe like rank at most is what you would expect in a typical game, and no Aghanim, so you can usually survive through it really easily, and it sometimes isn't a problem.
Do they maybe go the Slark again here for the final tribe with the final pick? Just run like a mid Gyrocopter?
I don't think so. The Slark into the A also, you don't benefit from healing during. Really core to the way the hero wants to play, as well as we did see the Morphling was bursting on the Slark pretty consistent, and there is no Oracle in this game, so the bursts will be a lot more reliable, whereas they always have to be careful for the false promise to come out, really tentative with using his abilities. This game I feel like he's just going to throw out abilities non-stop, and it's going to be fairly easy for him to
now select your heroes.
EA.
Hey. Yeah, so it is a niche on Morphling. I do expect to go mid lane to the TA. I guess TA would have an advantage that her splashes can deal significant damage, especially when his Morphling's HP is so low. But I do think that if they pay special attention to the Morphling with the A being there, like I mentioned before, and then maybe even just a support rotation here and then for the Rubik, they have more than enough damage to bring her down. And well, generally, the matchup is pretty okay. I think some people think that TA can be good against Morphling because his HP is so low, but you also got to remember that when Morphling's HP is that low because he's shifting his stats for E-Blade, he does have quite a bit of armor, so it's not like the meld strikes are going to do too much. I still think that the Morphling will have a pretty good game. If they lane it especially the way that I said, I think he should be fine. He won't kick rush the same way, and he'll actually be able to pull out ahead.
This is it for Kinguin. Again, the other day, I think it was the game 5 of the GESC Thailand qualifiers that we were doing, where it's, you know, this is it on the line, everything's on the line, you know, how they must be feeling players. And it's really the same thing kind of goes for here for both sides. I mean, the idea, obviously, for EFT, knowing that you're 1 win away from what we're calling a super major, and for good reason, because it is an even bigger than your typical major. And then you got Kinguin, who's just simply trying to stay alive in that best of tomorrow. So crazy, but again, goes back to the idea, just another game Dota here. But another game of Dota that includes a TA, yet another hero that we do not get to see a lot. Competitive play. Unique this year.
I have a question. If Morphling turns into TA, and obviously Refraction is going to be amazing on him, does he also benefit from the side blades?
Why not? Like, everything else works like that, right? Like with the whole tree thing with Tiny and...
Well, that's not a passive. I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah.
I would imagine it would. Either way, can you imagine how scary that is? He waveforms in, turns into TA with Refraction, meld strikes you, and then just right clicks you down. That's pretty scary, isn't it?
Absolutely. So he's got that option. He's got the obvious flak cannon that you were talking about from Gyrocopter. So yeah, especially even if that's not the case, it's still a good Morphling game to take over again with specific Gyrocopter, even with the Refraction. But yeah, that even works on top of which, again, I don't see why not. Then you're right. This is definitely a much better Morphling game. That idea. Drafted here. Nisha, he'll get his chance to redeem himself in a lot of ways. Laning phase especially.
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't look like they're going to help Autos in the bottom lane, so I expect this Sanking to get completely shut down. Like I said, the gyro with the homing missile makes it really difficult, and that is a setup for the Leshrac. We talked about how awkward it is for the forts to work together, but if the missile sets up for the splitter, it's all fine. It's all good. I would prefer like the AA to be mid compared to the Rubik, but this harassment can burn a lot of regen and get really too much. I just think AA works so much better with the more just being close to distance and throw with those chilling touches. It's a lot of damage, a lot of kill potential.
Set up here at the Beastmaster, Jonas using those wild axes, showing off what he has at level 1, of course, and surprising there. But Katsor on the Rubik is definitely zoning TA quite a bit, giving Nisha a very strong start with the 3-3 creep. Our bottom lane Patos, he might be dead here. Talked about it's going to be a difficult lane for him, and homing missile was used sure enough. No stomp even needed, just the Astral Spirit, and they just run him down. So Patos, he ports back in, but yeah, no way he's just going back into the lane crazy.
Yeah, that's the key difference, right? Because the Beastmaster in top lane, he's actually getting experience. The Sand King's going to be really hard pressed, especially if the Leshrac chooses to stay in this lane. Looks like the Leshrac's actually keeping mid lane. Like there's a... Yeah, this is... By not getting Refraction at level 1, going from High Blades, he's actually being harassed by Rubik, which is one of the... not considered a very strong laning support. Might have been a little bit of a miss.
Have a fraction now, but already putting him behind as you're getting at it. Nisha has a good half a level lead or so on him. CS advantage too. Tiny, understandably, is also having a great time. This hero just seems like that's always the case. Picks up a tree and hits creep. Invisibility stuff right here. Yeah, the biggest thing with this matchup here compared to the last game, especially, you know, Lina has that magic burst that can definitely catch you off guard. TA, not necessarily. I mean, sure, the side blades in the middle even potentially could be fun, but it's decent damage, but it's not going to be nearly as much of a catch-up. You know what?
Nice.
Why was I even saying that? Because clearly that was just...
Well, he was invis on Leshrac. You can't really account for that. Could have positioned a little bit differently, but him having such low HP, it's really an easy setup if Invis Rune Leshrac just times it properly.
There is some fun discussion going on. It seems like the consensus is that it does not work.
Alright.
So, but like we were saying, even so, Refraction itself and even Melton could potentially be pretty good. I'm watching the top lane though. Patos does go down at the bottom lane. Jonas Van is going to fall to top lane, however.
That was close. He actually mangoed, and the Tiny had 4 stacks of wild axes, so the next one would have amped up quite a bit, and I think that might have even killed him.
Again, back here with Rubik. They're going to lift up Era and good damage, but Refraction will keep him alive in the end. Hans can TPing in even just Split Earth. No Lightning Storm. There's a Split Earth. Never mind.
Also the tower on top lane.
Oh, Exotic Tier goes down. I'm watching the middle though again. Pablo. No. fine. But yeah, you mentioned the what? He tossed at the tower and got turned, or?
Yeah, he was low HP. Beastmaster started manning up on him, so he decided to toss Lisage on the tower and then just tank through it and final kill on the tiny final blow.
4-1 start for the Final Tribe. Already looking pretty good for them. Now again, CS-wise, Morphling and Tiny doing very good as well, but then you have the Gyrocopter that basically is 100% farm. Bottom laning. That farm, we'll see what he decides to go for Katsor. He's going to be cut down most likely. Lightning Storm and Jonas finishes the job there. Now Beastmaster's even roaming a little bit. 4 minutes in and already hitting middle to go for a kill. Laning phase not going the best for Kinguin as far as hero kills.
No, and I think it's because normally you help your offlaner, but in this game decide not to. Oh my god, Morphling playing with so much fire there.
It was the same thing last game, man. I swear. It seems just dangerous. He has 9 wand charges as well.
Yeah.
Still. Like right here, it's just so close. God, just, okay, he's fine. Wand charge.
Living on the edge. The initial thing I was going to talk about was the difference between an AA mid and a Rubik mid is that the AA, like being in the right positions, allows for the Rubik to go for those flank positions where he can either smoke or just run behind mid, and generally that will be an auto kill. And in the AA top, the BM doesn't feel scared at all.
Bottom lane with tanking. Run down right there, but yeah, it's Kinguin just not really sold on that idea clearly. I mean, right now, at least is at the bottom laner himself and attempting to maybe support the Rubik still in that middle lane and trying to make plays on Arrow, but Arrow's 20 and 5. She's obviously got that one assist at least to work with. Again, the refraction. She might go down here. The Fairy Fire pop keeps her alive initially, but they eventually get the kill. So, well played by Kinguin. That's going to be a feel-good moment. However, the strength shift from Morphling as they try to stomp on go on him further, but ain't gonna work. Agility now. Right, but there's Sal. Good, but yeah, nice gank that time around to actually take out the Elder Titan. Tiny has that tree, gonna toss an Ancient Apparition. No Cold Feet coming out just yet. Don't use that Ice Vortex to slow him down. Now comes the Cold Feet. The tree has already been thrown, and Elisa will finish the job with the auto attacks. Now it turns on the Beastmaster, does Exotic Deer, but Jonas is a little too beefy apparently. Too far. He'll be fine. TA, interesting always item discussion with this hero. Is it Blink or Deso first? And we know it's going to get both eventually.
I used to be a hardcore Deso fan, but I've seen the potential of the Blink. I think the Blink works out pretty nicely just because you can hit this timing where you can actually be quite impactful, and it does not like that bad because you can blink around from camp to camp. So form is still going to be comparable. It's just like the personal style that I like these days. It kind of changes from meta to meta, but right now it's really helpful for taking these little skirmishes around the map when people aren't grouping up, and that's where TA kind of shines a lot.
Elder Titan. Wrapping on him in the middle lane as if that looked play, but now he's final, as I say, that Katsor going in. Lifting, has a chance now, gonna lift him up. There's the waveform in, Nisha. The follow-up damage cell, the Promeror lockdown in that agility shift, and he will end up falling. Katsor now, Echo Stomp, gonna get a good one off here. Jonas is just gonna run him down with wild axes, but the Echo Stomp is gonna be too far. At least Rubik will survive, but Morphling, again, he obviously had no clue Beastmaster was nearby, so. Backfired. And that was on trying to kill a level 3 Elder Titan. That's just the worst feeling ever, too. It wasn't even that big of a kill.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're just going for it with the Rubik. Rubik doesn't offer all too much. A lot of times like, I'm surprised they haven't really used the synergy of the A very often with the Morphling, because it's something that's almost a guaranteed kill in a lot of situations, especially with the Rubik deck.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
You know, we were having this discussion recently, and I don't know if it was Frost, another player, but anyways, we saw the Gyrocopter, he went the Axe, and you really liked it, to sound like.
Yeah.
He's going drums here at least first. Could you still see the axe next, or is it maybe?
I think he's just gonna go into a BKB straight up because there's so much magic damage coming in. Usually people go with, you either go with the drums or you go with the eggs, because there's way too many small items and you want to start moving toward mid game and late game power. Usually you don't see both.
Pablo in trouble. The support's roaming on him, but that one happened last time they went on Pablo. It backfired. He's gonna go for the stomp and the call down and cuts. That's where he goes down. And just like before, it backfired. It could get worse. Elisa also gonna get run down. Era, in fact, will take the kill herself. It just gets worse and worse, it seems like, for Kinguin. I know we're only 9 minutes in, and there's definitely positive for Kinguin. In fact, Exotic Deer is that massive positive. He is farming very well. The Blink's coming along. But it does have a lot of similarities to last game as well, the feeling of it, where it just seems like TFT is starting to get some nice snowball momentum.
Pretty unusual to just have a solo offlaner these days. At least you usually help him at some point or a little bit in the early game to get in a bit of a... But because they wanted to play so much around this Morphling, and I definitely agree with that, they never really found time to help out Patos. He is trying to catch up right now, but the lane matchup was so disadvantaged that they're losing a lot of ground here, and I think an optimization they could have made was maybe dual offlaning, aggro tri-laning, or just putting Sand King late lane. It's still fine to help the Morphling, but the Sand King this far behind is pretty stiff.
Well, you see Nisha and Ancient Apparition, actually, they rotate and they find TA doing the Ancient step. They're not going to be able to steal it, though. That's the unfortunate issue, and TA just falls back and it's like, alright, they're gone. Let me go finish it off now. A little bit of time wasted, I guess, but it's also time wasted for Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Speaking of Morphling again, Jonas here. Ramaror ready. Leshrac, the only follow-up damage, and Morphling is in a bit of strength right now. He has 1100 life currently. And Wanchard would be a tough kill. Oh, there's Titan Beam. Could just make it a bit easier, but Nisha's not even going to give him. But again, I go back to Tiny continuing to farm very well. And, oh, they're just going to go, aren't they? Yeah, they saw the shift, but he got the shift off at the last second.
He had 260 HP right as the war was going off. That was fairly fast reaction.
That was a lap on the edge. This time, though, he is able to. Okay, look at Frost, though. He's been in the bottom lane the whole time, and you know what? He's like, maybe I can't afford to go in that.
Gonna go double? Okay. It's okay, but I think it does slow down some of your timings. The good thing is that he's gonna get a lot of HP incoming. I definitely like the choice, but BKB seems to be like the better choice in this game because when you have a TA and a gyro, usually you expect the gyro to kind of create more space and fight with the team. Aghanim certainly allows you to do that, but there's so much magic damage. They do have enough of a lead where they're not afraid too much, but you might regret it when the Blink Tiny does come out and the A blast to follow once A hits level 6. The TA is generally the hero that's going to take the majority of the space in this game, wants to farm out those items, not be used in the fights, so it might be a little greedy.
Tiny, that's the debut of the Blink, and he completely whiffs, unfortunately. And now Exotic Deer, the turn is potentially coming. Prime rewards in 1 second. He should be able to get off. Yeah, it's a good distance, though. Stomp to follow. Double damage currently on Beastmaster. Earth Splitter in the mid. This should be a kill on Tiny. It connects. He's going for the turn kill on Beastmaster, though. He'll get it. He is going to fall shortly after, I'm guessing. Yes, Leshrac will finish the job. Meanwhile, Frost picking up a kill elsewhere. Looks like that was in that middle lane, running people down. In fact, he's going for Rubik as well. Takes an Ancient Apparition and Rubik. I saw the bottom lane they were pushing a couple of heroes dire side. So Sand King and Morphling not there, but let's be honest, probably for the better. One of the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Sand King 700 gold. So the Blink is going to be a long ways off. How's Morphling doing? Morphling, I'm assuming he has a Void Stone on the chicken. So it's pretty average timing here, given his start. Not too amazing. Not as good as Gyro. Gyro's absolutely destroying right now. And this is something that, for the final tribe, we talked about it a lot in other casts. Frost is, a lot of times he's just this MVP when he gets the lane for free, and he could just farm up, because he takes full advantage of it, doesn't die, has really good farming patterns. You know, it's something to be worried about if you're Kinguin, giving him a free.
Frost, this is a big kill for Kinguin. Gonna make it happen. Nisha, including getting it, that's very key. 562 gold. Going the way of Nisha. Great smoke ink there, and definitely potential they have again with this farm tiny. First Blink debut wasn't the greatest, but that one much better.
Radiant's top tower
Chilling
is
touch on
under
top
attack.
of that. So Templar Assassin, we have the answer, of course. He's going that Desolator first. And did he just purpose? I think he locked his own ancient battle. I think he walked in at 14 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. Anywho.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower
Do some more jungling over here, but trying to finish that Desolator, and of course, ideally would like to take stacks with it, but currently there isn't really much to work with. I mean, he has been doing some.
One of the key differences between this game and the last is either offlaner is going to go for those items like the pipe, where on either side it would be amazing. It would be a massive advantage if one team had it and the other one did. Fortunately, this game is going to come down to who gets the initiation first, and not really any. There's not really much potential for fights besides blinking in and throwing down epicenter. It's going to be a lot of spell-based activity in the team fights and not really superior itemization.
Vatos, you mentioned earlier, he's been struggling understandably with the laning phase. It could get a little worse right here. Although he happens to be walking the right direction currently. And he is going to be fine because of that. I don't think he has any clue how close to death he was right there, but he's just casually walking away as if in it. The smoking kind of fails in a sense for TFT. They're going to transition into the middle tower though, but big fight breaking out here now. Lisa up the side. Exotic Deer looking for an opening. He finds a toss onto the other Titan. Elliot's going for the quick kill on him, and they will finish the job. And now TA, that Desolator finish, tears the Raging Apparition, and now he's going for Tiny. The slow from the trap, the homing missile going to connect as well. Status resistance still pretty strong on him at least, but not nearly enough. Hera will get the double kill. And now they're going to look to push out the middle tier 1 tower finally.
Top tower has fallen.
Like 10 life at the top lane.
Are fortified.
Feeling pretty
Radiant's
blind.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Deso already 1,500 gold saved up for T. And this is about this hero how this hero works, man. You get the it's similar to like a Battlefield and other melee core. She gets the Desolator and she just starts to really amplify her net worth. So.
And that TA is definitely a really strong hero, but part of the reason why you don't see her picked up so much these days is because she falls off extremely hard. She needs a really to close out the game, because a lot of times in the late game her items start to diminish in their effectiveness. People start itemizing against her, and she still suffers from the same issue of just kind of her range is not too amazing in the fight, so she has to commit fairly hard. And yeah, I've seen plenty of games where TAs they're up maybe 2 racks and then there's a comeback and she can't build any more items. She has to have the blink dagger. BKB charges run low. There is potential where she would fall off, and she needs to take full advantage of this.
So that blink we're talking about is, there you go, going to be purchased. The Axe is basically finished on Gyro. Not yet, although they smoke up before it is finished. He's like 200 plus gold away from completing it, so curious timing here, but Beastmaster, Elder Titan, and Gyro wrapping around middle. It's just Castor right now and Rubik, and probably going to end up being the victim at this point. Oh no, they ping over here. They actually see Tiny. That's a better target. And the Primal Roar comes out to open. Echo Stomp on top of that. The Frost in the face. Avoids the avalanche. Well played right there. Holy Ancient almost sniped the kill, actually. Fortunate, but Frost gets the kill on Tiny, and that is going to complete the Axe now. And it's like the Leshrac actually going to be working a Rod of Atos, the Bracer first. Transition into Roshan. This is all timing right now for TFT. The Axe, the Blink, Roshan. This is going to be really key here for them, what they get out of this, and Kinguin, can they somehow stop it?
Yeah, big time. And kind of going off of what you were talking about, where they did go for that smoke preemptively. With that Gyro, as long as you have the point booster in the Ogre Club, you're totally fine taking the fights, because that's actually all you really need from the item. And then they're playing around the TA Blink, and what I mentioned before is that whoever gets the initiation first is often going to win these types of games where there's no itemization for defense. So as long as they're making the first move with that Blink Dagger, they get a tower, they get Roshan, it's a... They don't need to really worry about completing the Aghanims in that situation.
Morphling, Blinkens, of course, the Yasha, the Manta you were talking about the last game. He had that queued up initially, and then he ended up going the Ethereal Blade, but looks like he is committing to the Yasha Manta style this time.
Did he? What did he buy?
He bought the band, yeah. So I guess that's your obvious answer on whether or not you like it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a massive advantage to the item. Even Ghost Scepter, the component of the E-Blade, is even useful in its like raw form versus the TA. I mean, I think if he wants to go for this right-click build, he might as well just go BKB, because they're gonna start hitting on their base, and if he can't run into hero, fight into even like a simple Leshrac with low HP, it's gonna be...
Spirit, stomp a miss right there from Elder Titan. Another Elder Titan, a Spirit Vessel is actually just about finished on him as well, so be a nice item to pick up. And actually, okay, so yeah, how does that work with Morphling? That doesn't actually...
Oh, yeah.
Does it actually work against his Morph?
No, it doesn't work against Morph, shift? But it's just pretty good, because just if you think about the raw percentages of HP that he's getting, it's like pretty good.
Okay, so yeah, it's not like, because there are some matches, like an Alchemist, for example, it's insanely good against him with it. But Elder Titan, oh, they stopped the epicenter reaction, the proper roar on top of that, despite the ice blast coming out, doesn't matter. And that would be Nisha on that gyrocopter that he morphed into. He ends up falling himself. It seemed like it was such an opening for Kinguin. It was not. A double shot from Templar Assassin to finish off the Ancient Apparition as well. And the snowball will continue once again in TFT's favor. We'll see if they push bottom out of this or whatnot, but it seemed like a good idea from Kinguin, but again, it just unfortunately couldn't connect.
Thing is that for Kinguin, a lot of their damage is burst heavy and single target. By this point, TFT, a lot of their heroes are extremely tanky and unburstable by one single combo from the Tiny. Like even the Leshrac has 1200 HP with double bracer. So they have to commit very heavily, and this is another way to deal with it. Like I said, they didn't have any defensive items, the pipe or whatever like that, but if you just build tanky on the heroes that don't really want to build those items, it's the best defense against the Tiny.
Katsar. Good attempt there. He actually stole the meld and used it, but not going to be enough as the Stomp connects, so. Rubik there. Plus in favor. Drive experience. Well, trying to find the positives on Kinguin's side. I mean, the Yasha finished on more. You have Tiny, who's now delivering that Shadow Blade. Key item on their part of the court are coming out as well. But you also have a BKB, not finished yet on Gyrocopter, but he's working on it. The Mithril Hammer, all that's needed at this point. And this is definitely a game where a BKB on the core on the Radiant side feels very strong.
Yes. It was pretty curious why Quinn went for the Tiny after all in the end, because Gyro matches up so well against him. He doesn't care about how tanky he is, he usually spreads him with magic.
Lane, Ice Blast coming out, but again the response is here. Exotic here, he's going to be turned on quick. The air splitter not even necessary. Oh jeez, it once again turns on Kinguin. We've seen that several times now. They think they have an opening, they get turned, and it's 3-0 in favor of TFT. Again, where do they go from here? But they're just going to wrap around to the middle lane. You got Morphling farming away during all of this, trying to finish that full-on Manta style, but as you're getting at earlier, you're not even sure if that's necessarily correct move, and how much of an impact is that truly going to have for him in this case. So again, trying to keep hope alive for Kinguin, and Morphling is a scary hero if he's able to get farmed into a late game stage. So I guess that would be the one big thing for Kinguin to rely on, but TFT just does not seem like they're going to let up at this point, nor should they.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you're exactly right with the Morphling. He can be extremely scary in the late game. I even do think if he was 6-slotted and it just went really far, maybe they spent some racks, he has the potential to outcarry TA and Gyro together. Because when you have Butterfly, Scotty, Titanic, Blade, which I don't know if you're ever going to get it, but he actually will outcarry both of those.
So, apparently, getting some clarification actually is, hold it back, Pablo. He is going to be avalanched open Dawn, and maybe a chance here again for Kinguin, but he's walking away. The Spirit Vessel barely keeping him alive, but no, Castro will be able to run him down. But now the BKB from Frost, and the Dire team can't do anything about it but just simply try to run. The Black Cannon raining bullets from the heavens here. Tiny will fall. Nisha just going to go for the TP play, and actually might work. Yes, he gets out of Lisa. While it axes in 1 more second, just snipe him out for the kill. He basically accepts death at that point. Patos also, picked up the back lines, and sure, Morphling gets out, but Rubik is gonna have to buy back here. Yeah, again, TFT. All they lose was the Elder Titan, and they're going for tier 3. And with this Deso on the TA, these are gonna be dead racks most likely.
Not to mention Diabolic Edict from West Rack, because he's too late.
And the Axe on Gyro, yeah, they really do have a great push here on the Radiant side. Rubik obviously a die back there. Ancient Apparition, he'll probably just throw in an Ice Blast. Try to stall them as much as he can, but easy kill on the racks. Now TFT. 14,000 net worth. But yeah, real quick, the point that I was getting at. Apparently it does work against Morphling with the whole attribute shift as far as the Spirit Vessel goes. And the amplifiedness of it, you know, what it really does against him. Like getting that Spirit Vessel as quickly as possible in Elder Titan, and why the
Since the nerfs to Spirit Vessel, I haven't felt the full how it was before. It's certainly good, but I mean, like, this situation, this Morphling is kind of in a really weak
Dire's top shrine.
A lot of times, if he's able to pull ahead, not much, because he's able to just... He would have so much more effectiveness in the fights, and right now it just looks so amazing because...
Oh, Nisha. Escaping right there from the Elder Titan. It's the Astral Spirit, so obviously Kinguin hanging in here, down 15,000 net worth, but of course this is it, so I'm not expecting any type of concede by any means, but continues to be more and more gloomy. You got Beastmaster, level 2 Necronomicon now even finished. He actually went Glimmer Cape first here, and it kind of goes back to, you really look at this Kinguin lineup more and more. Oh wow, there's what is Rubik was there. Sneaking in to go for the solo kill. They are very reliant on that. Early to mid game. I mean, sure, late game, obviously Morphling and even Tiny can start something physical, but a lot of magic presence. So BKBs, you know, hoods, pipes, glimmer capes, as we see, very effective items here. They don't have a pipe though.
I mean, that Glimmer is such a good choice. He was going for the Shadow Blade initially. He had the amulet, but he decided that, oh, he could save himself and save his teammates, and he can kind of serves a dual function compared to just a single Shadow Blade for himself. And in this kind of game especially, I definitely agree with you. Tiny Avalanche toss anybody mid-air, you can Glimmer, walk out.
Bottom shrine is under attack.
Oh, that's good. Way down here, okay. And he finds the
Shadow Blade, walk straight into.
I think that's a very telling mark of where the game's at. The one position just got 800 gold for killing the 5 on the other side. Quite the bounty for him. So good news is he has 800 more gold to work with on his way towards his own BKB.
Roshan spawned. We do the TA trap, so it should be just a matter of time.
Side really has no vision right now to work with other than way down in the jungle. Scary map for them, and of course on top of the vision for TFT from wards, they also have the Hawk flying around. Beastmaster. Something else. Taken into consideration. So Morphling has the Manta style, and again, whether or not a fan of it, it's the idea that he has it now. It is an amp in some sense of stats and the ability to now Manta himself, but I hear the blink dagger go off, and I just see.
But it hides from the unworthy.
DA. Oh, it's actually going to be going to blood. Well, right now, it has to be working.
Forever.
Is that cheese? Was that the second Roshan?
Yeah, that's cheese.
Okay, yeah, picked up by Jaro. Yeah. So Kinguin, at this point, it's fair to say they're probably just going to rely on the split push game, you think? Try to rat them out here.
That should have been their plan from the get-go. There was no way they would fight ever. They did a lot of forced fights, but now they need to really triple down on that effort. That's the only way back in this.
Patos, he's praying right there that they would just, for some reason, walk away and leave him alone, but TFT kill. Exotic deer again hunting. He might actually find Hanskin again. Him here, but this would be a dangerous open. Still going for it. Wow. What the balls is it? Oh, okay. I mean, he got it. Can they stop him? No. Okay, that's. Hey, you got to make some ballsy decisions when you're down 15,000 or almost 19,000 net worth now.
Well played on that one. I mean, slowing anything they can do to slow them down. Morphling should definitely just start heading top, push out mid one wave, push out top as far as possible, then just take you back for the fight.
Templar Assassin, Bloodthorn finished though in full. We're only 30 minutes into the game. A Bloodthorn, BKB, Desolator, and a Blink. Seems like she's pretty stacked. 20,000 net worth at the time. Master using that Glimmer Cape, the idea of the whole Shadow Blade. They're trying to initiate in, but falling back. Not gonna happen there. Instead, they just group up bottom lane though. Currently don't have Leshrac with them, but he's making his way over. But they're just gonna push into the base now. Of course, they have the Aegis on TA. Trying to potentially finish the game right here, right now. What can Kinguin do to hold? We'll see. It'll be tough. Gotta defend somehow. Rubik stole Refraction. Maybe not the greatest ability to steal right now. Patos is going for the epicenter play. Here we go. Jumps on the TA. Remember, he has the Aegis. He's getting bursted down. They turn on a Patos. Arrow's gonna live for the time being. Exotic trying to finish the job with that Refraction, keeping him alive. Sand King, of course, killed off in the midst of it. Frost has that Black Cannon active off to the side. Morphling's gonna be picked off. He has a buyback, uses it immediately. Exotic Deer, he just tosses Frost for no damage, essentially. He just cannot deal much himself. He's having to cut away again. Arrow now running in the front line, pops his own BKB. The Aegis again still on him, and actually taking some good damage from Nisha right there. So we do see a bit of presence from the Morphling, but by the way, the racks are destroyed, and that's all that was just an Aegis on Era. So more of a lead, and they're gonna go top to probably really just finish this game again, Mega.
Yeah, I think so. Their push potential is insane. Every single hero besides Elder Titan offers extremely fast push, so I think they need to steal Gyrocopter from the Morphling.
Oh, first TA. There you go. Getting no Aegis now, but they're going to lose Tiny with a dieback and Sand King and a Rubik. So, as pretty as that was, although they killed Gyrocopter. TA does buy back, by the way. Gyrocopter currently staying dead. So, it will stop TFT for now, at least make them reset here. And waste a little bit more time on their part. So yeah, TA with this buyback, so she's going to be a little more careful. But she also knows, you know, there's only 2 heroes up, and that was an upfront burst. Now it's going to be a full damage. Dire side.
Buy back the Gyro, honestly. You should buy back the Gyro, just take this.
Top tower is under attack.
But in the last fight, I was really curious. I'll even.
Morphling, if he's dead, that probably is the game. The Spirit Vessel's up. They hit him with the Splitter. He is going to be tanked up enough. He has a Manta Style. Actually takes over TA. But again, he's just simply running with him. Pops a Refraction. That's all he can do. They go for a smoke play. Lisa, desperation at its finest. That's going to be Mega Creeps, though.
Wow. TFT is giving them nothing, and I guess it is a land slot, so... But... I feel like any Gyro would just buy back there and end the game. Like, oh, we can get to the Mega Creeps right now. This is a perfect opportunity. But what I wanted to talk about was I was really surprised at the bottom racks fight that Nisha chose the TA as the morph target, even though Gyro was right in front of him, because as you saw in that last fight, dealing the flat cannon, that's the most damage you're gonna do, especially with this build. That's by far the most important steal, and it had to happen. But unfortunately, it was too late when he decided to go for it. Top lane, he did get the Gyro overall, but yeah, maybe not thinking clearly because kind of in a panic, a lot of stress.
One of those cases, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised that's a lot of it. Just kind of reacting to just in the moment. Already down so much while it's on the line, but has a Hurricane Pike now on Morphling, so getting what he can at the time to try to make it be enough. But TFT, again, they could play the very safe route here, which I wouldn't be surprised if they wait for another Roshan and then truly finish the game with a refresher shard on top of the Aegis that she's. But as I suggest that, they're smoked up and they're actually going into the base. All the creep waves are pretty pushed up here. Hope for some pickoffs. Obviously, our buyback situation. Nobody on either side currently has a buyback act. Meteor Hammer, yo. They're going in. Elder Titan, he got it off. Nisha jumps in. BKB though from Frost takes to the tower. They could just go for the Ancient even if they really wanted to finish the scheme. Absolutely. Nisha, he's down to the black end of the back lines. They lose Tiny. He buys back Meteor. They actually just got enough for him, but they lose Rubik and Taking. The Ancient's falling, and it looks like the final tribe is going to the Super Major. Right in the European region. Congratulations to them. That's gotta feel good.
Congratulations, Final Tribe. They look clearly like the best European team so far, besides OG. They pretty much stomped through all the qualifiers. They matched up really well. Their strategies are really sound. I like the fact that when they go ahead and draft, there's usually kind of the same